السلام عليك يا أبا I will beseech you, I will grieve you into the night.
I will beseech you, I will grieve you into the night. You are my master, I am alone, I call unto you. You are my master, I am alone, I call unto you.
Because I will be with you till the end, Hussein. In my eyes there's always tears of pain.
Like a river flows for your love, Hussein. Every broken heart cries out your name, cries out your name.
روحي وقلبي لديك صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله.
روحي وقلبي لديك صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا أبا عبد الله. From your shrine I can't bear to stay apart. The flame of your love ignites my heart. Your name gives meaning to my soul. To you I raise my hands and call.
From your shrine I can't bear to stay apart. The flame of your love ignites my heart. Your name gives meaning to my soul. To you I raise my hands and call. Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan, Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan. Hussein Jana, Hussein Jana, my tears for you will never dry.
Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan, Mere Mola ya Hussein Jaan. Hussein Jana, Hussein Jana, my tears for you will never dry.
For every step I take is to you, Hussein. Till my final breath, your love will remain.
Even if they take my feet and my hands, I'll come crawling to your holy land, to your holy
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum, dear children, dear parents, followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and to the entire humanity. Tonight is the Shab of 4th Muharram. Today was 3rd of Muharram. Dear children, dear brothers and sisters, I request again that if you have not taken wuzu, to please go and take wuzu and come and sit for the Majlis of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. And I would like all of you to put your hands together and start with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and send our salam to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, because we are in the Majlis of Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayki ya Bibi Fatima Zahra. We are gathered tonight for another Majlis of your beloved son, Imam Hussain alayhi salam. I would like to introduce the young followers of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. We have Burhan, who is going to recite with Tilawat the Quran Pak. We have Zahra, Fatima, and Zainab, who have prepared Noha for us tonight. Salam Ghazi. We also have Ali Abbas Musavi, who has prepared Noha for us, inshallah, tonight. They will get the opportunity and to Hadiya to the Imam of our time, Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Now I would like to request Burhan to please recite Tilawat al-Quran Pak.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يؤتيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنحر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على رسول الله وآله الأطهار على رسول الله وصحبه الأخيار.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah. MashaAllah, Burhan. Jazakallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you more tawfiqat and to give you kamil iman, inshallah. Jazakallah, Burhan. Dear children, dear sisters and brothers, now we have with us Zahra, Zainab and Fatima, who have prepared Noha for all of the followers of Imam Hussain and the followers of Ghazi Abbas Alamdar Bawafa. So I would like to request Zainab, Zahra and Fatima to please recite the Noha with Assalamu alaikum and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. If I can please request Zahra, Zainab, Fatima to unmute yourself, please. Jazakallah. And if you can start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bawafa ya Abbas, Bawafa ya Abbas, Bawafa ya Abbas, Bawafa Ghazi mere, Bawafa Ghazi mere, Bawafa Ghazi mere, Bawafa Ghazi mere, Bawafa ya Abbas, Bawafa ya Abbas. Salamu Ghazi, Salamu Ghazi, wafa ka tu hai Imam Ghazi. Salamu Ghazi, Salamu Ghazi, wafa ka tu hai Imam Ghazi. Salamu Ghazi, Salamu Ghazi, wafa ka tu hai Imam Ghazi. Salamu Ghazi, Salamu Ghazi, wafa ka tu hai Imam Ghazi. जगह जगह है अलम गवाही, दिलों पे तेरी है बादशाही. जगह जगह है अलम गवाही, दिलों पे तेरी है बादशाही. लबों पे तेरा है नाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. सलाम गाजी, सलाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. बावफा या अब्बास, बावफा या अब्बास, तेरे अलम का है हम पे साया, अलम पे साया है पंचतन का. तेरे अलम का है हम पे साया, अलम पे साया है पंचतन का. बुलंद तेरा मकाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. सलाम गाजी, सलाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. बावफा या अब्बास, बावफा या अब्बास. अलम का जब से हुआ है साया, ज़मीन करबो गला पे मौला. अलम का जब से हुआ है साया, ज़मीन करबो गला पे मौला. तेरा है चलता निज़ाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. सलाम गाजी, सलाम गाजी, वफा का तू है इमाम गाजी. बावफा या अब्बास, बावफा या अब्बास. तू बावफा है, तू लापता है, बेआसरों का तू आसरा है. तू बावफा है, तू लापता है, बेआसरों का तू आसरा है. जहां में चर्चा है आम गाजी, वफा का तू है امام غازی سلام غازی سلام غازی وفا کا تو ہے امام غازی با وفا یا عباس با وفا یا عباس حسین مولا سے پیار کرنا حسین پر جان نثار کرنا حسین مولا سے پیار کرنا حسین پر جان نثار کرنا یہی ہے تیرا پیام غازی وفا کا تو ہے امام غازی سلام غازی سلام غازی وفا کا تو ہے امام غازی سلام غازی سلام غازی وفا کا تو ہے امام غازی سلام غازی سلام غازی وفا کا تو ہے امام غازی با وفا یا عباس با وفا یا عباس اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہم اجمعین
اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad وعجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah. MashaAllah. Really nicely recited. Salam Ghazi. Salam Ghazi. And definitely Hazrat Abbas Alamdar Bawafa will always reply to you when you say Salam, Ya Abbas. He always responds to you. So MashaAllah, Zainab, Zahra and Fatima. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with this effort of yours. Jazakallah. Dear brothers and sisters, now we have with us Ali Abbas Musawi, who has prepared a Noha as well for all of you guys. So Ali Abbas Musawi, please start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Yes. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مولا ہم تمہارے مولا ہم تمہارے مولا ہم تمہارے مولا ہم تمہارے ہم چراغ مصطفیٰ کے پروانے اے زبان آزادار آزادار پنجتن کے نام ہے تے دیوانے اے زبان آزادار آزادار ہمارا دل ہماری جان ہماری ایک ہی زبان ہے ہمارے سینوں پر لکھا ہوا آزادار حسین آزادار حسین آزادار حسین آزادار آزادار جیے 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 کربلا جیے یا حسین جیے آزادار ہاں مکہ مدینہ ہو نجف کربلا عشق خدا کا ہی راستہ فاطمہ حسنین دی لاپتہ خدلہ منا کر رسول خدا ایک سخن ایک لگن ایک زبان ایک دہن پنجتن کے نام پر نثار ہے ہم ہے وفادار خدا نام محمد پہ فضا ناخر مزدور دکھاڑے ہیں ہمارا دل ہماری جان ہماری ایک ہی زبان ہے ہمارے سینوں پر لکھا ہوا آزادار حسین آزادار حسین آزادار حسین آزادار آزادار جیے 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 کربلا جیے یا حسین جیے آزادار ہاں thank you جزاک اللہ
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Jazakallah, mashallah, Ali Abbas Musawi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with this effort of yours tonight. May Abba Abdullah be pleased and accept this effort of yours tonight. Jazakallah, really nicely recited. Little Azadari of Imam Hussain, as some of the people commented. Jazakallah. Tonight we have prepared and going to explain with all of you about the companions of Abba Abdullah. We know the closest family members were among the companions. 72 companions, as you guys all know, were among the closest in the camp of Abba Abdullah. But apart from the family members, we have other warriors in the camp of Abba Abdullah, such as Hazrat Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi. We have Nafi bin Hilal. We have Muslim bin Awsaja. We have Habib bin Mazahir, Abu Hatub Ansari, Abdul Rahman Ghaffari. So tonight, inshallah, we are going to focus on two personalities, Nafi bin Hilal, and inshallah, we will focus on Hazrat Hur. As you guys know, Hazrat Hur was in the enemy of Abba Abdullah. Then how powerful was his repentance that it made him from being on the enemy side come to Abba Abdullah's camp. So just bear a moment with me, and please do send your salam to Nafi bin Hilal. This is the picture that you are seeing, is the grave, is the holy shrine of Nafi bin Hilal alayhi salam. So just bear a moment with me. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
Nafi bin Hilal and Muslim bin Awsaja were preparing for the battle that would start at dawn in the burning desert of Karbala. Smiling, Nafi turned towards Muslim and said, "I swear by Allah, these are the most precious moments in my life. I have never been so contented. What else should I ask God for? He has fulfilled all my desires." Muslim replied, "I feel the same. The blessing of defending Imam Hussain alayhi salam in the final moments of my life, I feel such peace." Nafi replied, "If I look at my past, the memorable moments were those that were spent in the service of Imam Ali alayhi salam and Imam Hassan alayhi salam. I have always thanked Allah for those moments, but this is different. It's the climax of my life and my service to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Future generations can only wish to have participated in the Battle of Karbala, defending Imam Hussain alayhi salam, but the Almighty Allah actually honored us with this favor." "You spoke of serving Imam Ali alayhi salam and Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Tell me more," Muslim requested. "I participated in the Battle of Siffin and Nahrawan, fought along with them against Muawiyah's forces and the Khawarij," Nafi replied. Muawiyah refused to accept Imam Ali alayhi salam as the leader of the Muslim Ummah and waged wars against him. On the other hand, the Khawarijis claimed to abide by the Holy Book but followed their own interpretations of it. They refused to listen to the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, the divinely appointed interpreters, Nafi explained. Nothing has changed. Even today, they refuse to submit to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Yesterday they opposed Imam Ali alayhi salam. Today they're against his son Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Yesterday Muawiyah was the enemy of Islam. Today it is his son Yazid, sighed Muslim. Nafi agreed, saying, "It all goes back to what transpired after the death of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The event of Ghadir was ignored. If all the people had taken Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam as their Imam, that day we wouldn't be sitting here today." That night, Nafi and Muslim candidly shared what they truly felt were the reasons behind the Battle of Karbala. Muslim sharpened his sword, whereas Nafi, who was the best archer in Imam Hussein's camp, inscribed his name on the arrows. Muslim said to him, "You have so many arrows. I pray to Allah that each one of these pierces the enemy in the heart. Yes, brother, I will teach them a lesson. They will surely feel the bitterness of the conflict they have started. I will send as many as I can directly to hell, Nafi assured. As they walked towards their camp, Nafi looked around and said, "Why did all these warriors leave? They had claimed to be sincere supporters of Imam Hussain alayhi salam." Muslim answered, "They were after the world. They believed that the Imam would rise to power and therefore they joined his camp. Now that the Imam has made it crystal clear that whoever stays with him will be killed tomorrow, they have decided to take off." Nafi said, "By abandoning their Imam in this manner, they have actually supported the enemy." Tears rolled down his cheeks and his heart ached as he continued, "Brother, I don't fear for my life, rather I fear for my Imam Hussain ibn Ali alayhi salam. I don't want to live to see him killed. Why is the enemy treating him and his family like this? Have they forgotten that the Holy Prophet's words? Hussain alayhi salam is from me and I am from Hussain." With the cries of the children in the camp, he couldn't control himself and burst into tears. The deadly battle was underway. The Imam's companions were going to the battlefield, one after the other. Nafi sought permission from the Imam and started shooting his arrows at them, addressing them thus, "I will shoot the arrows that bear my name. I don't fear you, for the fearful lose the game." His arrows struck their targets, killing many of the enemy soldiers. When he ran out of arrows, he took out his sword and attacked them, reciting the following: "I am the follower of Ali and the son of Hilal Jamali. You cannot flee from my sword, will surely kill thee." He continued to fight until he surrounded and captured by the enemy. They took him to Umar ibn Sa'd. "Look at what you have done to yourself," Umar said, pointing to Nafi's wounds. "By Allah, you have gone astray. I have killed over a dozen of your men and wounded many, and do not regret. Had I had the strength to continue the fight, I wouldn't have fallen captive," Nafi replied proudly. Umar ibn Sa'd ordered Shimr to behead him. Shimr immediately took out his sword. Nafi said to him, "If you were a Muslim, it would have been very difficult for you to face your Lord as a murderer. I thank God that He chose the worst of His creatures to end my life."
Dear brothers and sisters, dear youth and children, what I'm going to play with you is a very quick clip of the zari of the holy shrine of Hazrat Hur alayhi salam. Just imagine yourself being at the zari and entering the zari of Hazrat Hur alayhi salam and send your salam and talk to Hazrat Hur alayhi salam. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
يغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء وكان الله غفورا رحيما. ويقول المخلفون إذا خلقتم إلى
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
At the same time as Yazid sent Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad as his governor to Kufa to kill Hazrat Muslim and establish a reign of terror there, He sent his agents to Mecca to murder Imam Hussain during the Hajj season in such a way that no one would suspect him of having got the Imam killed. As the pilgrimage season grew nearer, Hazrat Abdullah ibn Ja'far came to Mecca with his two sons, On and Muhammad. Imam had by this time received the message sent by Hazrat Muslim with Qais ibn Mushir and made up his mind to go to Kufa after performing pilgrimage. Hazrat Abdullah tried to persuade Imam not to go to Kufa as he felt that Yazid would never let Imam settle there. Imam responded that as the people of Kufa had invited him to go to them as their Imam, it was his duty to go. When Hazrat Abdullah saw that the Imam was adamant, he gave the hands of his two sons into the hand of Imam, saying, "Accept my sons in your service. One will serve you as Zainab's representative and the other as mine." Thousands of people from everywhere poured into Mecca for Hajj. Amongst them were the assassins sent by Yazid. Imam Hussain came to learn about Yazid's plot. He did not wish the house of Allah to be turned into a battlefield. Imam decided to leave Mecca without performing pilgrimage. On the 8th of Zulhijjah, the very day on which Hazrat Muslim was murdered in Kufa, Imam Hussein's caravan left Mecca. Our Imam's heart was filled with mixed feelings. He was sad at being forced to leave Karbala without performing Hajj. At the same time, Hazrat Muslim had favorably reported on the situation in Kufa. So at least there would be a sanctuary for Imam there. So began the second journey of tears. The hero of this journey was Hazrat Abbas and the heroine was Bibi Sakina. Let us look at the caravan as it leaves towards Iraq. At the head of the caravan is Hazrat Abbas carrying the alam. Next is Imam Hussain surrounded by all his companions. In this group, we find Qais ibn Mushir. He is accompanying Imam to his hometown. How proud he would feel entering Kufa with the grandson of the Holy Prophet. He smiles at the thought. Then come the camels carrying the mahmouds, in which all the ladies are. Behind the mahmouds forming the rear guard are Hazrat Ali Akbar, Hazrat Qasim, On Muhammad, and other young men of Bani Hashim. Hazrat Abbas can be seen riding up and down the caravan to make sure that everyone is comfortable. He often stops by the mahmoud carrying Bibi Sakina to make sure that she had enough water and food. He inquires how Asghar is. If there is anything anyone wants, Hazrat Abbas rushes to fetch it. Bibi Sakina is so very proud of her uncle Abbas. Everyone knew that Bibi Sakina was the apple of the eye of Hazrat Abbas. When any child in the caravan needed anything, he or she would tell Bibi Sakina. Bibi Sakina would speak to Hazrat Abbas and the wish of that child would be fulfilled immediately. There were about 50 children in the caravan, and the 4-year-old Bibi Sakina was an important link between them and Hazrat Abbas. The caravan came to a small basis called Al-Dalabiya. It was decided to stop there for the night. This was the 6th stop of the journey. Qais ibn Mushir was no longer with Imam Hussain as he had already left for Kufa carrying Imam's letter announcing his imminent arrival. Tents were pitched. Imam led Maghrib prayers. As the evening meal was being prepared, he heard that 2 travelers from Kufa were in the settlement. He invited them over. He questioned them about the conditions in Kufa. The travelers described how the city had been placed under a total blockade. Imam asked his 2 guests about Hazrat Muslim. The travelers remained quiet, their faces reflecting their sadness. Imam asked them again, with tears flowing down their beards. The travelers reported of the death of Hazrat Muslim and the brutal way he had been killed, Imam summoned Hazrat Abbas and asked him to look after the guests. Slowly he made his way to Bibi Zainab's camp. Putting his hand on her shoulder, he said, "Dear sister, your mission has begun. Go and console our sister Ruqayya. She is now a widow. But first send Muslim's daughter to me." Young Ruqayya bint Muslim entered the tent. She was accompanied by Bibi Sakina. Imam took the orphan girl into his arms, kissed her on her cheeks. Then he put his hand on her head and kissed her again. The young girl looked at Imam Hussain fearfully and said, "Uncle, you are treating me as an orphan should be treated in Islam. Tell me, what has happened? Is my father well?" Imam could not speak. Tears flowed down his eyes. Bibi Sakina stepped forward. She stepped forward and embraced her cousin and lovingly offered her condolences.
Dear brothers and sisters, now we have with us our Islamic scholar, Khanum Amba Zahra, who is going to give Majlis to the youth, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today we will understand the philosophy and the strategy behind Imam Hussein's decision to go to Karbala. Had Imam Hussain alayhi salam proceeded to Kufa, it would have been considered as his seeking to fight the forces of Ibn Ziyad, who had already gathered there. By pitching his camp at Karbala, Imam Hussain alayhi salam forever removed even the smallest chance of an allegation that he was the aggressor. By making Ibn Ziyad to change his plans and send his army to Karbala, Imam Hussain alayhi salam showed who was the aggressor and who was after whom. Secondly, by avoiding going to Kufa, Imam Hussain alayhi salam prevented the possible allegation that since he knew that a huge army had gathered and was after him at Kufa, it was suicidal to proceed to Kufa. Lastly, sitting at a neutral place, Imam Hussain alayhi salam kept the door for negotiations open. If at all it can be called a battle, the Battle of Karbala was extremely unequal and one-sided. On the one side, when Imam Hussain alayhi salam pitched his camp in Karbala on the 2nd of Muharram, the year 61 AH, there were only few hundred of people, including ladies, children, teenagers, old men, and only a few strong people. On the other side, in the course of 2 days between the 3rd and the 4th of Muharram, the plains of Karbala were filled with over 140,000 warriors from Syria, Iraq, Iran, and other countries to oppose Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So it can be concluded that this battle was unfair on all accounts. On the nights of the 4th and the 5th of Muharram, Umar ibn Saad wanted to meet Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Arrangements were made in an open space between Imam Hussein's camp and Umar's army. When a long conversation started, during which Imam Hussain alayhi salam showed hundreds of letters written by the people of Kufa, the next night a similar meeting took place in which Imam Hussain alayhi salam said that I have no intention to fight anyone. I wish to avoid conflict. However, I refuse to swear allegiance to Yazid. A person like me cannot ally with a person like Yazid. Khuli, who hated the Ahlul Bayt, wrote to Ibn Ziyad that Umar ibn Saad appears to have been impressed with Imam Hussein's reasoning and softened, and hence might not carry out the purpose for which he was given the command of the army. Ibn Ziyad was enraged by the attitude of Ibn Sa'd, and he called for Shimr ibn Ziljoshan to whom he gave a letter to be delivered to Umar ibn Sa'd. Shimr gleefully took the letter to Karbala and gave it to Umar ibn Sa'd on the night of the 6th of Muharram. Umar ibn Sa'd realized that Shimr had always carried a grudge against him for being preferred and given command of the army, and that he was overlooked. Therefore, he incited Ibn Ziyad against him. The possibility of losing his command of the army as well as the riches promised by Ibn Ziyad was enough to once again blind Umar ibn Sa'd from the reality placed before him by Imam Hussain alayhi salam during the preceding nights. He ordered the closure of the banks of the Furat by posting several battalions with strict instructions not to allow anyone from Imam Hussein's camp to come near the river and take any water. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Jazakallah Khanum Zahra. Jazakallah. Dear children, dear brothers and sisters, this is the time of Masa'ib. Please sit down in a spot and keep your head down and think of the pain of Aba Abdullah. Think of the hardship that Hazrat Hur was going through. He was stuck in between the right and falsehood. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Hazrat Hur. Assalamu alayka ya Hazrat Nabi bin Hilal. Assalamu alayka ya Habib ibn Mazahir. Assalamu alayka ya Muslim ibn Awsaja. Assalamu alayka to all the loyal friends and companions of Aba Abdullah. Dear children and sisters and brothers, let's all reach out to these beloved, brave, courageous warriors and strong followers of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Dear children, let's all call out to Hazrat Hur alayhi salam tonight. Oh Hazrat Hur, may Allah's blessing be upon you. Oh Hazrat Hur, we know that you were among the army of Yazid. You stopped the family of the Prophet, the caravan of Imam Hussain to reach Kufa. You stopped the supply of water. You followed the orders of Shimr and Umar ibn Sa'd. Then what was it in you that despite all the torture and pain you caused to the caravan of Imam Hussain? Today we remember you as one of the best companions of Imam Hussain. Dear children, let's all understand tonight and learn from Hazrat Hur how powerful the love of Imam Hussain is and how much he wants the best for everyone, even his enemies. Dear children, yes, while Hazrat Hur was among the enemy at first, he still had some goodness toward Imam Hussain. Did you know that Hazrat Hur had a dream, and in that dream he saw himself between heaven and hell? When he woke up, he realized that he still has the chance and opportunity to change his destiny. He was scared, dear children. He then called out to Allah, "Oh Allah, I am returning towards you. Please accept me and forgive me as I am responsible for stopping Imam Hussein's way." Hazrat Hur now rode to the camp of Imam Hussain and was very ashamed. But dear children, Imam Hussain still welcomed Hazrat Hur with respect. Hazrat Hur then asked for permission to go into the battlefield. Dear children, Hazrat Hur fought very bravely until the enemies surrounded him from all sides. And Hazrat Hur fell to the ground and said his final salam to Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Dear children, we learn about the sacrifice of each companion of Imam Hussain. From the sacrifice of Hazrat Hur, we all learn the beauty and the power of repentance, the power of Tawbah. Yes, we humans make mistakes, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. We learn from Hazrat Hur that we can always change ourselves even if we have very little time. Hazrat Hur repentance wasn't just like our tawbah and repentance. It was sincere to the point that the tawbah, the asking of forgiveness, affected his body and soul, that allowed him to choose Imam Hussain over the enemies, to choose justice over tyranny, to choose truth from falsehood. Oh Hazrat Hur, help us. Oh Hazrat Hur, help us. Oh Hazrat Hur, teach us the best manners of asking for repentance. Oh Hazrat Hur, we want to be among the companions of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Help us to purify our soul, just like Imam Hussain was waiting for you. We know Imam Mehdi alayhi salam is waiting for us. Oh Hazrat Hur, Allah blessed you to not only do the ziyarat of Imam Hussain, meet him, but be among his companions. Oh Hazrat Hur, we also want to have the ziyarat of Imam Mehdi. We want to see our Imam. Oh Hazrat Hur, for the sake and the love of Imam Hussain, for the sake of Bibi Zainab who welcomed you, please help us so we also get to have the ziyarat of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam and be among his companions. Oh Imam Mehdi, we want to meet you. Oh Imam Mehdi, please forgive us like Imam Hussain forgave Hazrat Hur. Oh Imam Mehdi, please, we want to sacrifice our lives for you as Hazrat Hur sacrificed for Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Hazrat Hur. Labbaik ya Imam Mehdi. Labbaik ya Imam Mehdi. Labbaik ya Imam Mehdi. Oh Imam Mehdi, we want to be among your companion. We want to support you, ya Imam Mehdi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Dear brothers and sisters, please ask for your hajat right now. Reach out to Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Reach out to Hazrat Hur alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. May Allah's curse be on the enemies of Aba Abdullah. May Allah's curse be on the enemies of Hazrat Hur alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Dear children, please step away from your laptop, from your phone, from your iPad. Stand and face the Qibla. We are going to play a noha for all of you. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
السلام عليك أيها المجاهد الناصح. السلام عليك يا حر من يزيد الرياح ورحمة الله وبركاته. قولي بني رياحي آجا میرے بھائی. قولي بني رياحي آجا میرے بھائی. رہا ہے اکبر سینے اسے لگاؤ. سینے اسے لگاؤ. سینے اسے لگاؤ. مہمان کو ہمارے لگاؤ رہا ہے سینے سے لگاؤ خود یاد ہوگا اس کو پانی تھا اس نے روکا خدا رے وہ بہت ہے شرمندہ ہم سے ہوگا پیاسے ہیں سارے بچے اس کو نہ یہ بتاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ دیکھو وہ چل رہا ہے میدان میں لڑکھڑا کر گرنے سے پہلے اکبر اس کو سنبھالو جا کر اے میرے شاہزادے جلدی قدم بڑھاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ آغاز اپنے دل سے ہر بات صاف کر دو ماں فاطمہ کے صدقے خور کو معاف کر دو جا کر علم کے اس کو سائے میں لے کے آؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ بیٹا حسین قیدی کیسے کسی کو دیکھے میری طرف سے کھولو تم اس کے ہاتھ جا کے بابا خفا نہیں ہے جا کر اسے بتاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ تم سے بھی پہلے مرنے جائے گا اس کا بیٹا جی بھر کے دیکھ لے وہ اپنے پسر کا چہرہ کم وقت رہ گیا ہے جا کر اسے بتاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے تاحشر یہ کریمی سب یاد ہی رکھیں گے مہمان کا پسینہ خود صاف ہم کریں گے فیضا ہماری ماں کا رومال لے کے آؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ جس دن سنی علی کی بیٹی نے یہ صدائیں آنسو بہا کے اس کو دینے لگی دعائیں بچوں سے پھر یہ بولی خور کو گلے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ سینے سے لگاؤ
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجہم اجمعین May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with each and every one of you and accept your effort. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us kamil iman and tawfiqat to be among the companions of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Dear children, dear sisters and brothers, we are having Tijani brothers, inshallah, joining us in the upcoming nights. Inshallah, they are definitely joining us live on Shabi Ashur, inshallah. Now, if I could please request all of you to put your hands together and recite Surah Fatiha for all our marhumin. Surah Fatiha 1 time and 3 times Surah Tawheed. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أجمعين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الواجد من الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائك في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة واليوم حافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Please do recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Please do ask for your hajat. Dear brothers and sisters, please keep everybody else first in your prayers and be yourself the last one to ask for yourself. So ask for your parents that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them help and forgive their mistakes, forgive any of their sins, whether they know about it, whether they don't know about it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take all of us out of this COVID-19, inshallah. التماس الدعاء